Dear Lord, the battles we go through in life, we ask for a chance that's fair, chance to equal our stride, a chance to do or dare. If we should win, let it be by the code, faith and honor held high. If we should lose, we'll stand on the road and cheer as the winners go by. Day by day, we get better and better till we can't be beat. We won't be beat.
They're just a good group of guys. I mean, the class of 26 obviously is once in a decade, maybe, hopefully not a once in a decade class. They're just, I've been here for 8 years and they're the most complete class that I've been fortunate enough to coach. Cool thing about Roseville is they're just high character kids and high quality families that roll in here year in and year out. But this group was special. Coach Bagley coached them as freshmen. He said, we're gonna win a section championship. And I was always like, okay, we'll see. Well, he hit the nail on the head.
I said, no, it's not just the talent. There's something about their character. I never dealt with emails from school, nothing. They were ready. They're a mature group.
This group continued to win football games each year as freshmen, as JV, as a group, the seniors did. And then they did that with a lot of their best players being moved up to either JV or to varsity. And not only did they win on the football field, they win in the classroom, in the community. They're just a real special, unique group that handles their business in all aspects of being a student athlete.
This group that we had at wide receiver was very selfless in a way. They adapted to whatever situation we may had. Unfortunately, we had one of our best wide receivers in the group go down early this year, and we had to move some guys around. Like Kenny moved from inside to outside receiver, even played a little running back for us. So these guys were willing to do whatever it took for the betterment of the team. Especially during that first 5-game stretch. We were able to come out of it 4-1 because our guys were able to make plays in space when they got the opportunity to do so. So it was a very special group in that their knowledge level was very, very high, and it allowed us to move guys around and not really miss a whole lot on offense. It was difficult to have the starting QB out for the first four games. Hunter stepped in and did a pretty good job in leading our offense to some victories. I think we came out of that stretch 3-1, which is a testament to his character and our overall team grit. That's one of the themes that we had this year. We had a very gritty team. I would say that guys like Kenny and Garin stepped in and were able to make the plays they needed to. Guys like Wyatt, who was a sophomore we brought up, would come in and play some slot receiver. Peanut would also be one of those guys, and we just had guys who were willing to make plays whenever they got their chance. During our 4-game stretch we were without our first string running back for a while. We were without our wide receiver. We were without Mason, our quarterback. We were very fortunate to have a kicker that could pin guys back deep into their own end. We had a kicker who could make some field goals for us. And Austin Chang, that guy, he's got 4 section championship banners. That's pretty impressive. That kid has all the grit in the world, and that speaks to his abilities. He'd be able to run fake punts, which made us more dynamic on offense for sure. Our backups definitely embraced that role. They were willing to learn and grow. Jacob Hearn was one of our backups. Garen Graciani, Michael Pixton, Bryson, these guys all embraced that role of, I'm gonna learn what it means to be a Roseville wide receiver, and that was something that I was really impressed with, was our backups' ability to know what their role was in the offense as well. When Mason came back and we had our first game back with him at Deer Valley, he just lit it up on a few different plays, and we lit up the scoreboard. And having a guy like Mason who provides consistency and continuity to our group really was needed, and obviously propelled us deep into our playoff run. Same can be said for JJ. JJ came back, and our offense kind of felt like we had finally got what we needed to hit our stride of what we were capable of, and obviously everyone else benefits by proxy of having our guys back. I mean, when JJ's out there, Kenny gets more action because now the defense is focused on another guy that is a threat. And so I think that this speaks to how talented this group was. We had all seniors starting on offense, and those guys really stepped up when we needed them to in the playoffs and even in league. The ability to go as far as we did in the playoffs, I think, speaks to how special this group was. As we close, the season, I want everyone to understand that this group set the precedent for what kind of is expected here at Roseville. Eventually, championships and wins, they fade away, banners collect dust, but what doesn't fade is the memories and the connections we built as a team. not just player to player, but also coach to player. And to the families that are here in this room, we want to thank you for your support and sacrifice that you made for us to have such a successful season. The rides, the late nights, and encouraging our players to always do their best. And to those guys that are coming up next year and being a part of this team again, hopefully you can follow what's been laid out before you, because we want to keep trying to, stack wins and create a culture that is all about development, winning, and eventually you'll be a great young man as a result, not just a good football player.
Man, they're the heart of this offense. They help us go. They run the ball with purpose. They run for the name on the front of the chest. They're just gritty and want to get after it, man. You see them running up and down the field, excited, hooting and hollering, excited for one another, just always picking each other up and wanting to run the ball constantly. Carson Collins, great attitude guy. Love it. He always made every drill, every practice a little bit more enjoyable. Always gave it his all, always tried his best, and just always super positive. I know towards the end there he started battling some injuries, but he never went down and stayed positive. DeMarcus D-Mac, man, that guy made linebackers and D linemen scared of him. He was out there shaking people and finding creases and seams and hitting them. I think he hit one this year for 74 yards, I think. Man, that guy did some work this year. Again, battled some injuries, but still ran it all, gave it all he got, and ran the ball hard every single time. Continued this year picking people up and playing for the name on the front of the chest. Trey, great guy in drills and practices, kept giving it his best and working his butt off. He got in there a few times. And Jonathan Tambray, got that crisscross, took it for a touchdown. That was a great one. And another guy, just great attitude, loved being there, loved learning. Yeah, that's my group.
A couple years ago when I first came on staff, I was getting to know the offensive linemen, and I thought, I'm just going to have all these guys over. They filled our house. We have a pretty good sized house, and these kids came in, filled the doorways, and we bought a bunch of hamburgers and hot dogs to feed this team, and got the Costco version of food, and this lineman group ate so much so fast I had to send family members out to the store to buy more hamburgers. I think I was cooking hamburgers on a huge grill solid for about 2 hours, and we had guys eating 5 hamburgers. They had an appetite like most linemen do, but they also had an appetite to win. I remember talking to them right after we finished eating, and I asked them if I could have a few circle, and I asked them, do you want to be successful or do you want a soft coach? Without any hesitation, all of them were like, we want to be successful, we want to be coached hard. And so that started the process right there. We're all on the same page that these guys want to work hard. And you could see throughout the season that they created running lanes for our backs and protected the quarterback, gave him time. And our goal was, as a team, to get the running back to the 3rd level. So our goal, we felt like we were being close to perfect if a running back could get through the front line, through the backer level, and then make a one-on-one play with a safety of some kind. And that happened more often than not. So that's probably one of the things we're most proud of. And then from a quarterback perspective, we didn't want the quarterback to get touched. We want him to feel like he could step forward and make a big play. That's a huge goal for a high school line. And for the most part, we feel like the quarterback rarely had to worry about his backside. I don't think he ever got hit from the back once in the last few years. I talked to quarterback recently, and he said he doesn't ever remember being hit from behind. So that was huge for us. This line has been excellent, hardworking, always a great attitude. And as the leadership went, so the line went as well. Always kept their feet moving, drove their opponents downfield. It was exciting to watch this season. And besides that, just a great group of guys. I feel like I had the best group of people to work with, the funnest group of people. They're the kind of salt of the earth guys. They never need credit. They're happy that everyone else gets credit for the work they do.
Yeah, I coach on the defensive side. I pretty much coached the back half. Last season we were pretty successful. We got upset in the playoffs, and I knew we had everybody coming back. So I was really looking forward to it. I felt there were some things we could do a little differently and a little more advanced. We took the chance to do that this year, and it really paid off ultimately. Early on we were riddled with injuries, and there was a lot of pressure on the defense to kind of keep games close and whatnot. It just felt like week in, week out, those guys are making big plays. So we started running, match quarters, and there was a point in time where I was like, we're pretty good. Kind of felt that way maybe around week 5 or so. I felt like we just kept getting better and better and better and better and better. And that's really a testament to the guys. We had a lot of depth, a lot of competition, and that was probably the hardest part about being a coach. Looking through their accomplishments this year, really from being students of the game, their hard work at practice, we actually ended up with 18 interceptions, which is a higher number than I've ever had. One specific player with 9. So super proud of that. And looking back, even in our league and stuff, some of those interceptions and big plays really changed the courses of some games. So I've always felt relationships are a really big thing. And especially with some of these seniors, I have really good relationships, and it just made everything so much better. And I do plan some of these guys I'll probably know the rest of my life. So I do need to note that I had this group. I was the freshman coach back then. I remember walking out of practice the first day and calling Coach Rankin and telling him I think we could maybe win a section title with this group. Fast forward to senior year, it's like we got to that game and I was like, man, we're actually here. It was an exceptional experience, and I felt as a secondary, the last 4 or 5 games playoff football, they just continue to get better and make some really big plays. It was a pleasure coaching those guys this year. We had a good time. Ultimately, I think the best characteristic of these guys was they all had short-term memories. Like, they made a mistake, it didn't matter, just kept playing, right? I saw like a confidence that we went from a point of, oh, we're worried about this receiver or that receiver. And finally, I just told them, I'm like, hey, we're the people teams need to worry about. I don't care how many stars their guys have, whatever. Like, we're setting records here. So it kind of turned into that, and they just played smooth all the way through.
Defensive line was awesome. This is my first year at Roseville. I was really blessed to get the opportunity to do this with these guys, and those guys took into me really fast. I mean, they took me in, and they listened to, they were super willing to listen to everything. They were super ready to soak up any knowledge. Probably one of the most selfless group of dudes that I've ever met. They right away took to, when injuries came in, they jumped in whenever they could. My group seemed to change every game. I'd have a different little group, but we had our core guys, and those core guys, they were awesome. An amazing group of individuals to work with. Liam was a beast. He would hold the middle for us quite a bit. Lucas Sean, he, again, dude is a powerhouse in the weight room, and he would hold his own. There was plenty of plays where I seen, he would just bully that guy right through or hold that gap. And without those guys up front, you don't win. So Colin McLean was another gentleman that he really pushed himself towards the end there and started to figure it out. He was becoming a dangerous pass rusher and was really raw in his talent. And I think the more he goes, and especially for next year, if he continues on, he's going to do just fine and will be a threat for this team. Nick Edson, and he was great in the pass rush as well, constantly put himself in. He came out with his hand all broken and pointed sideways, but he was ready to go the next week with his little club and everything and put it all out there for us. Eric Aguilar, he doubted himself at first, but he pushed through that, which was awesome to see him develop that character and constantly put in for the team and buy in for that. And I loved that about him. He pushed himself, and again, another great supporter in the rotation. Mackay had his best game at Del Campo and unfortunately broke his ankle in that game. As soon as he heals up, that kid's gonna be a beast. He'll be a beast for next year. So, I can't say enough about the group. Baker, who came down from the linebackers, he was willing to listen via DN. Cruz, it was just a constant fluctuation. Trevor and Caleb came over to have some fun in the D tackle spot. Ethan, he came down, he played some DM for us. He was really excited in practice. And, as he continues to work in the gym, he's got a solid frame, he's got a good build, continues to work out and push himself. He'll be ready for next year, and he'll be a threat with Colin on the line. So we'll be set there at the end. It was fun. It was a lot of fun this year. I'm blessed. So the guy that had helped me out was Gage, Coach Gage. He was awesome, and I know if he could be there tonight to talk to these guys, he would. And he'd have nothing but amazing things to say. He loved those guys, and he loved being there at the games, practices when he could. And so, he'll be there next year, and it'll be a good time. We're ready to run it back.
Yeah, I had a unique group. Let me say that. We had about 4 or 5 of us out there every day. The dynamics of the groups was all over the place. We had a guy who was very athletic, can do whatever he needs to do. We had a few other guys that was the same way. And we found a way to come together and get some dubs and get the job done. I had about 4 or 5 guys that I could rotate in all the time. These guys were a plug and play type of guy. Cash Fisher was my plug and play type of guy. He could play outside to the field side, or he could play the boundary side. He was a hard hitter, go-getter, and we already know Cash Money, baby. And then I had Jude Navarro. He was able to do whatever you need him to do when you need him to do it. They come game day, he's ready, he's on point, he's dialed in, knocking heads off, and I love that about him. And then I had Tony Lucas and Max Lobato. Max was a guy who, he was like a tarantula out there, man. He was just had long arms, lanky. We used him on the 3rd and longs and things of that nature, and he stepped up to the plate when we needed him. Him and Tony were guys that helped us at a time when we needed them, which was sometimes practice squads, special teams. Those guys, again, like I said, we had plug and play type guys, and that's what they were. They helped us get prepared to win games on Fridays.
The West Park game, the goal line stands, and our linebackers were just filling those holes and pushing those piles back, and that is just a memorable game. And then going to the section championship, and those guys making play after play says a lot about those guys. And they were those dogs that just, you put them out there. And the next guy is a junior that we expect big things for next year. That's Mateo Martinez, closing speed, another guy you just put on the football field, can close like nobody. And with us today, and you put the hard work in the weight room, and he's gonna have a great year next year. And he's honorable mention All Metro too. Colton Wolf was on that All Metro team, so it's one of those things where it's just boom. Those two guys playing side to side were fun to watch. We had Chandler Baker, which started the linebacker position for us this year, sat out some time. But he came back and was essential for us to help us with depth. It's all about having depth to win a section championship, and our guys showed no matter what, time after time, guys plugging in that linebacker level that they can play. I know he didn't get as much playing time as he wanted to at the linebacker level, but another guy we had to find a position for. And at that section championship game, we moved him down the D-line, D-end, and he was there. He's battling, chasing the quarterback, and doing whatever. And that just tells us a lot about those guys, especially him, because I know he wants to go on and continue to play. You gotta play multiple positions. You got to be able to be used like a Swiss Army knife and be able to play multiple things. So he did a great job. And then Braden Wood is a guy that's got a lot of work in practice and stuff through. He didn't get as much game time as he wanted to, but great, very, very coachable, hard work. Like I said, another guy, you put him in the weight room for another year, expect great things from him. But as a group, the linebackers, I mean, we had guys that just showed tenacity and love for the game. And you gotta enjoy flying around. And I know Colton would get into it, scare me sometimes before the game, he'd smacking his head and everything else. And I'm like, man, there's still 4 quarters to go, man, so I know a lot of them would get fired up. But yeah, it was a special group this year. Like I said, I've been coaching high school football for 25 years, and this is the second championship that section championship that I've got, and this group's definitely a special. It's a special group that showed that grit and did everything we asked them to do.
each year when we come to awards, I have the players select the MVPs, lineman of the year, defensive MVPs, and so on and so forth. And I think this year our team got it right.
Well, I'm going to start off by talking about our offensive lineman of the year. And the thing that I would say about this is a couple years ago, I was coaching for another program, and I came to coach a game here, and I was watching the sophomore group, and I saw these huge linemen for the sophomore group, and for a moment I thought I was watching the wrong game. And I thought, why are these varsity players playing on the sophomore team? And I remember thinking to myself, I would love to get to coach a group like this. And fast forward, the way things worked out, I ended up here, and I got to coach one of those players, especially accelerated his strength through the off season, became an amazing leader. And he's the kind of person that isn't just a great football player, but he's a great person. And as you see him around campus, you can see him walking down the hall, and he always has a group of 5 or 6 people following him, like an entourage almost. Just his influence is so great. He doesn't try to do it, it just happens in leadership. And as his mood goes, so goes the mood of the team, which is a sign of great leadership. When you look at this player, size alone, he's physically intimidating. He walks with confidence. You, as an opponent, you look at him and you think, this guy is serious. He's going to be someone to deal with. And then when you see him in action, this man had 152 pancakes over the last 2 seasons and allowed 0 sacks from his position. He grew technique-wise, grew as a leader, and was the heart and soul of our football team. And lineman of the year is Trevor Kirby.
Snow from the midnight sun where the hot springs blow.
And first thing we're going to talk about is lineman of the year, co-alignment of the defensive lineman of the year. That was Harold Newville. What I can't say about this guy, he battled. Think about how many positions we tried him out, right? He started at corner, then we tried to move him to safety, then we tried to move him to outside linebacker. Let's put him somewhere where he was good at tackling, he was aggressive, he wanted to hit people. Once we put him there a couple practices, I mean, he just stood out. He was a game changer, and I still remember 12 Bridges coach coming across and saying, "Man, that's the hardest dude to block, man. He's quick, he's aggressive, he reacts quick, and he had a great year for us. I think he led us in sacks and across the board, and we couldn't have been where we were without Harold. We just knew we had to get him on the field, and Coach Bagley and I sat down and we're just like, dude, let's try him at D-line. And then props to our D-line, Coach Ben and those guys working with him every day, and Coach Gage, and getting him ready. And it just seemed like he just kept excelling week in and week out. He's kind of like a seek destroy guy, just fly into the ball, plays with tenacity, and be aggressive. And when you have aggressive guys like that, I've coached high school football for 25 years. You got to find a spot for those guys. And you got speed kills, especially today in today's game. And having a defensive end that can close like that changes the game. It's a game changer for sure.
Yeah, first player I want to talk about is our offensive MVP, our offensive most valuable player. After missing five games due to a broken collarbone, J.J. Young, who was selected by his team to be the offensive MVP, returned, and it was an immediate. His impact was felt immediately. We averaged 27 points per game without JJ. With JJ, we averaged 36 points per game. He's just a phenomenal guy, put up phenomenal numbers, 38 receptions, 838 yards, 11 touchdowns. I mean, the superlatives and end of the year honors are speak for themselves. First team all section, first team all city, first team all FVL. But with JJ, the best thing about him, he's just a very selfless individual, very coachable, always has a smile on his face. Receivers and skill guys sometimes get the reputation as guys that not complain, but are really competitive and want the ball in their hand to show their abilities. And JJ is as competitive as they get, but he always kind of put team first, much like a lot of our guys. All of our guys you don't win a section championship with having guys that are selfish individuals that our team played for the name on the front of the jersey. Best thing, JJ came back against 12 Bridges, had a great game. The following game, due to our game plan, he had one catch for 40 yards. His hand was in the dirt. He was asked to block and block on the line of scrimmage, something that we thought would help get him some film, show to schools that he can't put his hand in the dirt. But for a guy that made such a huge impact the week before to come back in a second game back and have one catch for 40 yards and not complain, we won 50-14. He was just happy that we won, and to me that just goes a lot, towards JJ as a person. His upbringing, I couldn't be more proud of him overcoming the adversity of a broken collarbone early on, and he came back and now he's one of the best wide receivers in the section with Division I offers. And I just couldn't be more happy and proud of our offensive MVP, J.J. Young.
So the guy I'm going to talk about right now, every time I think about him, it really puts a big smile on my face, and a lot of it doesn't have anything to do with football. I coached him freshman year. Believe it or not, he did not give up a reception all year. That was for starters. I knew he was pretty good. Sophomore year, I had a fight to get him up to varsity. He came up to varsity. He did a pretty good job for us. But I knew his coverage capabilities, and we just hit him on the boundary where you're not going to have to tackle guys in the run a lot. He did a good job for us. Towards the end of that season, this player started experiencing, a couple difficult things going on in life within himself, and myself and another one of our coaches just really, supported him and let him know, like, we got you, man. Don't trip about anything. He was kind of broken when he came to tell me he wasn't going to play football his junior year as a result. And I just said, hey, let's stay in touch, man. Let's check in once a month, whatever, and we'll see what happens, man. You play, you do, you don't, do or you don't. Anyways, when I found out he's playing senior year, I was like, okay, this is great. So I think that whole relationship thing helps out too. We started off the season, and I think it was like the very first play of the whole season, or maybe second game, he gave up a big fade, not for a touchdown, and I could see like a little doubt in his eyes, like, man, did I make the right decision? But as we started going through the season, he changed his everything, his approach to the game, student of the game, understanding football at a really high level, which ultimately led to 9 interceptions for him. And if you look at the course of the playoffs, the league, like our league alone, you can make an argument that almost every game in league, he changed the course of that game for a positive outcome. Anyways, man, Justin Fisher was just a phenomenal guy to have out there. I think he ended up second in the state in interceptions. First team all league, first team all metro, second team all NorCal, and probably get some all-state accolades too. And he's a baseball guy, right? Well, not anymore. He still loves baseball, but he came to me and said, Coach, it's like week 8, Coach, I think I want to play football in college. And then I was like taken back. So he's already gotten himself a couple offers, and whether he does baseball or football, he's going to persevere and do really well. I tell all my guys, I love you, Justin. You're a tremendous player and a better human being than anything else. And it's been a great experience. Not only did he play and set records, he helped me coach my junior Tiger team. It's not just about him. He gets the whole community thing and giving back. So he's just a great young man, and we'll miss him, but I know I'll always be in touch with him. So that's Justin Fisher for you.
Each year as coaches, we talk about players on both sides of the ball that were not only just a pleasure to coach, but were very, very team-oriented guys. And this year, it was kind of a no-brainer. Our 2025 Offensive Coaches Award goes to Mason Cisnara. I was scrolling through social media, and Standrata Sports said it right. Mesa Cisnara has been the definition of a field general, leading Roseville to their first section title since 1987. It wasn't an accident. It was a result of elite poise and high-level football IQ. Standrata Sport nailed it. Mason Cisnara is leaving Roseville High School as one of the all-time greats to come through here. 33 varsity games, 5,352 yards, 59 touchdowns. His name will be used in the same sentence as Roseville greats such as Robbie Bosco, who won a Heisman and played for a national championship at BYU in the 80s. In regards to Mason, just as a player, Mason was a team first player. Quarterbacks want to chuck the ball. Mason was completely content handing the ball off 50 times a game if it meant that we would win the football game. His first game back against Deer Valley, we won 60-8. Mason threw the ball, I believe, 8 times, had a smile on his face, and he was just so happy to be back. He always put the team first. He made it to every single team meeting. He was always one of the first guys at practice. He was an extension of me out on the football field. And then he developed as a quarterback and made just phenomenal plays. Plays that I didn't think, not that he wasn't capable of making, but he just was like a higher level IQ and made reads that were just amazing. He got better against the best competition. His playoff run was epic. I'm gonna miss him. I'll always remember my time with Mason because I coached quarterbacks, and he's just an amazing human being. And I'm really excited to see where this football journey takes him, because I think that he's got a lot of football left in him. And I couldn't be more happy to present the 2025 Offensive Coaches Award to Mason Cisnara.
It's hard to quantify what this guy's done for this program in the last 4 years. I've watched him play youth football for many years. A lot of respect for his family. His dad helped coach. Anyways, he came out. I knew he could tackle. He's only about 5'7", 5'6" as a freshman, 105 pounds. And there's something that we installed within our defense called a robber coverage, and he was like the perfect guy for it. So anyways, like first week of practice, I'm doing the safe tackling stuff and no pads on, and one guy rolls the wrong direction. He has a concussion, and I'm like feeling just horrible, After that, it was all positive. I think as a freshman, he had 80 tackles. I got him again on varsity. Started for me as a junior, probably up there leading tackles then too. Obviously, getting him for another year as a senior, he really was the leader of our defense. We asked him to do a lot of different things. He's a very intelligent player. He really loves his teammates. He plays hard for them. He plays hard for his family. He's just you wish you have 11 of him out there on defense. So he ended up being, I think, 6'6", still about 145 pounds. But man, I he was one of the kids that I'm not sure he came off the field for us this year. I had to basically drag him off a couple times. Plays the game with a lot of emotions, and he cares. So he's just a guy that they're hard to find. He led by example. Teammates respected the heck out of him. And we would not have been the same without him out there as our field general. So for our Defensive Coaches Award, it's going to go to Dylan Gates.
First individual I want to talk about is our running back, tight end, linebacker, placeholder, hammerback, Mr. Jack of all trades, Colton Wolf. Colton Wolf was selected as team captain for the Tigers in large part to his selfless approach to the team. Colton played 5 positions for us this year, and we asked him to move from his favorite position, running back, to tight end because it was going to make the team better. Colton didn't flinch, and he played tight end for us. His football IQ and just his overall intelligence as a person allowed him to play all these positions at a high level, rushing for 474 yards this year, 6 yards a carry, 14 touchdowns. And he held the position I think that team really likes is our hammer package, and he was our hammer back, in which he punished people scoring touchdowns. Not only as a running back and a hammer back was good, but as a tight end, we run, teams that scout us know that we run to the strong side or our tight end the majority of the time. And Colton was pivotal in creating holes for DeMarcus or Cole or all of our running backs that would run to his side. His down blocks were great. He has amazing hands. We didn't throw him the ball a ton, but he made the most of his opportunities. He made a phenomenal one-handed catch in the section championship game that got the juices flowing and the crowd buzzing. It was just an amazing catch by him. On defense, he was a straw that stirred the drink for our defense. He was a middle linebacker along with Mateo, making sure guys get lined up correctly. Had 57 tackles on the team. Again, just a very valuable player, hard to replace. And lastly, the position of holder. When Mason got hurt, Colton was our holder, and quite honestly, probably the best play, the most pressure-packed play of the season was Austin Chang's field goal to win the section championship with like 4 seconds left. Cash got the snap, Colton got a perfect hold, and Austin put it through. The snap, the hold, the kick were great, but Colton's doesn't flinch in pressure situations. He put the ball down, and much like the other recipients for the awards tonight and just this team in general, Colton's just an amazing individual, human being. Works with our junior Tigers. Is at the Colton Miller camps. He does next level with the community. He's just a phenomenal human being. Works in student government. So I couldn't be more proud to present Colton Wolf with our co-most valuable player award. Jack Walker, selected by his teammates as co-most valuable player for our team. Also, he was selected by the coaches of the Foothill Valley League as co-most valuable player of the league as well. Referred to by the crowd, his family, the coaching staff, and his teammates as the Mormon Missile. That represents Jack's style of play, fearless, aggressive. Some of the hardest hits that we've seen this year on the field came from Jack. So our 2025 co-most valuable player is Jack Walker. Jack Walker is a standout on both sides of the ball. Jack really kind of cemented himself as league MVP and team MVP during our league run. Just some interesting stats about Jack in the Yuba City game. Jack had 14 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Scored our lone touchdown on just a crisscross pass. The following week against Nevada Union, 6 tackles and a touchdown. 12 bridges, which we lost. We all know that it was a competitive game. They scored a late one, and we had our chances. But Jack had a pivotal interception, nine tackles, 4 catches, 95 yards, a touchdown. Against Del Campo when our kicker was out, 3 tackles, 63-yard touchdown reception, kicked 4 extra points, kicked off, never left the field. Then we went into the playoffs, and Jack had multiple touchdown receptions in our playoff run. Scored a touchdown in the section championship game. In addition to big play during league, Jack was also a selfless player for our offense. He plays our W, which is our strong side wing. Those guys don't carry the ball very often, and they predominantly block and or get an opportunity to catch on play action. balls that we set up running to the strong side. Jack, along with Colton, our other MVP, was pivotal in creating running lanes for our running backs to run through. As a receiver, Jack was our third leading receiver on the team in regards to yards, scored 6 touchdowns, averaging 22 yards per completion. So every time we threw the ball to him, it was a huge play. For all those reasons, I'd like to present Jack with the 2025 Co. Most Valuable Player, Jack Walker.
Hey,
Oh yeah, this is obviously the furthest that I've ever gotten at Roseville High School, and the furthest I've ever gotten in my coaching career. Weirdly, ironically, I found out after the fact that our win against East Union was my 100th career victory, which is really cool. It's a milestone for me personally. It's been a long journey, and I couldn't have dreamed for a better team to help me achieve that kind of career milestone.
I'd like to thank, honestly, starting with Coach Rankin for having me here and the rest of the coaching staff. Last couple of years has been a little bit tough for me with some stuff, and these guys outside of football and coaches are better people, and they're good buddies of mine, and I really appreciate everything that they've done for me. So I'd like to thank them too, and of course my children who are in that moment as well, or that conversation as well, sorry.
I want to thank my the coaching staff. Obviously puts in a tremendous amount of time for these kids, for our team, for our community. So I want to thank them, but also I want to thank my wife, who Leslie, she's been with me ever since I started coaching. And when we were first married, like, we had no kids, and she was able to work the snack bar. 20 years later, we have 2 kids. Both of them are in competitive soccer, and she runs her own business and supports my coaching habit by being the most supportive and loving wife a guy could ask for. So I couldn't do this without her blessing. So I thank my wife, obviously, and then my 2 little girls, Emma and Reese, win or lose, always give me a big hug at the end of the night and in the morning. So I do it all for them, to make them proud.
Yeah, I would like to thank my wife, Shauna, for always supporting me. Football, especially this year, was long. When you go from March till December, that's a long haul, and we have 3 kids, and it's a long time. And I always tell them, just being away from them too it's tough, right? We put a lot of time and energy into everything that we do, and she's always been there to support me. And then, my 3 kids, Torin, Jason, Naya, for always being, at the games and everything else, and being our biggest cheerleaders up in the stands. So I thank them definitely. And then, Coach Rankin gave me this opportunity a couple years ago, called me up, said, hey, you want to move up? I was at the JV staff, and, the opportunity was there, and, teaching here, it makes it very beneficial. But yeah, we've had a nice run, and we expect that run to continue, and keep striving for the best.
I'd like to thank my wife, who has been there supporting everything that I've done throughout the last couple seasons, and will continue to do it. She's as excited as I am about me being in coaching and getting to see the influence that coaches have on players and into the future, as well as on the field. And so Tara is the person I want to thank the most for supporting me in this coaching venture.
I'd like to thank my significant other, Laura, my girlfriend. We lived together, and she had to deal with all the film and all that with her being pregnant. And then when we had our son, Kingston, shout out to you, he gives me all the courage I need right now to push through anything I can. And her just being supporting through the hot days, cold days, my upset days, and my happy days, right? And then my mom, my grandfather, Willie Sweat, and my aunties that come out to the game, and her kids that come to support. I appreciate y'all. Y'all the heart and soul for everything we do. And then number 20, that's my nephew. Everything he's gone through, he pushed right through it, and that's what makes me keep going. He's what I do this for sure.
I'd like to thank Coach Rankin for bringing me on last year. I'd like to thank Coach Burt for helping me out on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I'd like to thank my wife. Football is a huge time commitment. I couldn't do it without her blessing, and I love doing it. So, thank you.
I do want to give a shout out to my girlfriend, because if she hadn't called Byerly and let him know that I was interested, and Byerly hadn't called Adam, this wouldn't have happened without that. So, she sacrificed a lot during fire season, and here I get a job that keeps me home more, and then I go right into football season, and that took me quite a bit away. So I really appreciate her, giving me that opportunity to be here and be part of this.
I would like to thank my fiance for allowing me to dedicate all of this time to football, because I know it's a big strain on the time that we have to put forward to be successful. And I can tell you that as a coach, I have no greater pleasure than seeing these guys grow and become a great team and be unified and continue to succeed, both in life and in football.